Hello, welcome everyone. Warm welcome to each and everyone who has been waiting and who are also subscribed to the channel and who will be watching this on YouTube. So we are live on Zoom right now. This is the Let Us Talk It Zipinars. So hello to each and everyone. We welcome you to this new session that we have. We have two new topics and we have two new speakers that we have today. And they'll be delivering us exciting and really insightful topics to be discussed for today's session. So just a quick background, this Let Us Talk It is initiated by Cogent Integrated Business Solutions, a company based in Detroit, Michigan, United States. So they desired to give back to the community. So they decided to create this Let Us Talk It webinars and created a free knowledge sharing platform because we value information, but aside from that is the experience of the speakers with that particular information, and that knowledge becomes very valuable to be shared to each and everyone. So first off, the topic that we have today is the possibility of possibility. So what can you think about the possibility of possibility? So it's a word like jumbo, but definitely there's a deep meaning behind it. So the speaker will talk about the power of possibility, the blocks to realizing possibilities, and ways to support creating and attaining possibility. So such a very interesting topic to be delivered by Miss Priyanka, who is a life and business coach with a degree in AE and have been a teacher as well, working in corporate. And aside from that, she is fascinated with what is available for human beings, like no matter where they come from or what they are pursuing. And she lives a life of service and support. So such a great person. And she's happy to have conversations about removing obstacles and making bold visions to become reality. And without further ado, we have here Miss Priyanka to discuss the topic, the possibility of possibility. Please take over.
Thank you so much, Team Zipinar, for inviting me and having me here, giving me the opportunity to speak and share my thoughts. So the topic is the possibility of possibility. But before starting, I want to invite you and ask you to just for a moment, close your eyes. And imagine that you are standing by a big ocean, looking water everywhere. And then you are looking at a faraway line where water meets the sky. Now, if I tell you that beyond that line, there exists a world of islands, each holding hidden treasures and experiences. This is the essence of possibility. The idea that beyond what we can see exists hidden chances, opportunities, possibilities. Now slowly open your eyes. Today we will talk about what possibility really means and how it can transform our lives if we accept it in our life. What are the challenges that come in our life while adapting to the possibility and how to beat them? And finally, we will discuss about the possibility of possibility, the limitless nature of possibility. As you listen, remember that every big thing, every big achievement, every new invention starts with a mere possibility, with the smallest possibility. Someone once said that, don't wait until everything is just right. It will never be perfect. There will always be obstacles, problems, less than perfect conditions. So what? Get started now? As you will be going into the path and moving ahead, facing the problems, you will get better and be confident, be smarter, be stronger. With this thought in mind, let's understand what possibility really means. Possibility means what could happen. It's the idea that beyond our current reality, what's happening right now in our life, there are a lot of things, different things, bigger things that could happen. Which we can explore, which we can change, which we can bring into our lives. Just let's take an example of Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur. They had an idea of flying. They want to make people flying. It was totally impossible at that time. Like everyone was like, it seems impossible. How you can say this? But their belief in flying was very strong, and they had a lot of challenges. They worked hard, but their belief of flying kept them going. Possibility is like start of new things. It's what makes scientists to create new inventions, discoveries. Artists paint beautiful art pieces. Business people create big companies. It's what makes desires into reality. But possibility is not just only amazing stuff. It's more than that. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of looking at life with curiosity, with opportunities out there. It's a mindset. Now, when I talk about mindset, many people confuse the mindset with positive mindset. Now, positive mindset is a different thing and possibility mindset is different thing. Let's understand this with an example of a student who's preparing for an examination, let's say competitive examination. So if a student is having positive mindset, student will feel like, oh, I can do it easily, even if he is not preparing, because he is positive. If someone who says something bad to that student that you can't do it, you are not preparing, he will say, oh, why you are thinking bad? Why you are thinking negative? I'm very positive about cracking this exam. That student is just staying positive, but not taking actions, not seeing the possibilities. This is a positive thinking. Now, second type of thinking is negative thinking. Now, negative thinking is very simple. Like we all experience in one or other way in our life. Sometimes we feel like we are not good enough. This is not my cup of tea. This is very easy. Everybody can do this. Why should I try this? These kind of people have negative mindset. They don't try things. And the student will not even try, not even think that what if I try and what if I not try? This is negative thinking. Now, if the student has possibility thinking, so before starting for the preparation of the examination, what student will do? The student will do a little bit research about the examination, that what are the possibilities out there. So let us say that after the research, student found that 99% chances are there that student will fail that examination. And there are only 1% chances that if student will prepare, put their 100%, like hard work, mindset, determination, everything, then there are only 1% chances that student can succeed in that particular examination. Now student have two possibilities, success and failure, and higher chances are of failure. So now student is already prepared for the failure. He knows that more chances are there. Even if I will prepare, there are more chances of failure. Now, if student will get succeeded in that examination, well and good. Very nice. Student can go into that particular field, can make his career into that field. But more chances are there that student will fail. So now what student will do? Now, why I'm talking about this? Because there are a lot of examinations like this, and most of the students who are positive in the beginning and becoming negative at this point, committing suicides because they are not able to crack that particular examinations. So if the student is having possibility mindset, student can say this. Let us say if during the preparation, Student was very good at one particular subject. Student can become a teacher of that particular subject, can become a professor, can teach to others. That student loves writing, he can become a writer. Student loves storytelling, he can become a poet or storyteller. He can become anything. There are n number of possibilities out there. So that failure actually is not a failure at all. That is a way of possibilities. Now, after knowing all this scenario, if student wants to prepare for the examination, he is totally prepared for the failure also and success also. So this is possibility. This is a way of thinking. Now, possibility mindset, let's say a person is having possibility mindset. Now, what are the challenges comes in our way while having that possibility mindset? Why we are not able to get that possibility mindset very easily? So there are many things. It sounds very cool to have possibility mindset, but seems hard when we go to adapt that. So number one reason is fear of failure. Nobody wants to fail in their life. They just want to succeed. But we need to see that when we started just walking, when we were just kid, we not learned walking in the very first go. We tried again and again, and then we reached at this place. Now we can walk easily. Same with anything in our life, riding bicycle, speaking English, speaking our own mother tongue. But we are having a fear of failures. So that stops us to see multiple possibilities out there. Number two reason is resistance to change. Now, this is very common. We want to be there where we are right now, and we dream of something big. Our dream are like, oh, I want to be the prime minister. I want to win an Olympic medal. I want to start a company. But we actually want to stay where we are right now. That is our comfort zone. It's like, this is the hill which we want to climb, and we don't want to leave this place where we are staying. And we can't reach this hill until or unless we'll leave this place. So we need to leave our current zone, that is comfort zone. Because change is the only constant in this universe. We need to adapt the change if we want to reach at high positions or do something better in our life. So that is the second reason. Third is our own thinking, that is limited thinking. Our own thinking is very important part. We limit ourselves to think only in our comfort zone. Most of the time we think like, I can do this much only. If I take just an example of an employee, so most of the employees think that they won't become a CEO of the company. They can get at this position because they don't have this reasons, like they have multiple reasons not to reach there. So our own thinking stops us to do that. As Henry Ford says, if you think you can or you can't, you are right. So it's your own thinking that you can or you can't. Number four reason is external influences. Most of the time, what we do on the basis of what others expect us to do. Our studies, our jobs, our smallest decisions also. We live like others are commanding us to do those things. Maybe you want to do job in another company or country, but you are not going there because maybe someone in your family or somebody don't want you to go there. That is external influences. Or you have something in mind that what people will think about me if I'll go there, if I'll do that, what I want to do. So that are external influences. We live others' life. So if we understand that, what are the external influences out there in our life, we can easily remove those influences also. But the very first step is we need to understand those influences. Are we doing what we want to do, or we are just living someone else's life? Number 5 reason is negative self-talk. Now, if I come in front of you and just say, you are not good enough, you are very bad, you are pathetic, and you will come to me very angrily and you will feel like, I want to kill this person. Why this person is telling these things to me? You will hate me. You will try to prove yourself right that you are a good person, because you don't want to listen bad words about yourself from other person. But what about yourself? You are saying negative things to yourself on a daily basis, every moment, every second. That must also hurt. Even if it is not hurting directly, that information is getting stored into your mind. Whether you are communicating in your circle with your friends, family, or with your own self, it's a communication. You must manage that thing. That negative self-talk must not be there. Whatever goes in your head will become your reality. So you need to put the positive things in your life, or what you want to be, put those things only. Even if you feel that you can't do it, at least don't say you can't do it. Just say, I can try, I will try. But remove those no words from your life, which makes you unworthy. These are the challenges which we face while embracing the possibility. Now, let's say you understood the possibility, set your own very clear vision, faced these problems, these challenges, removed everything, and now you are ready to achieve your vision, achieve your goal. And you may have seen that, like, in many people out there, but still they won't be able to achieve their goals. What's the reason? No reason, right? But like, general answer is no reason. But in actual, there are some reasons that even after having a clear vision, people are not able to achieve their goals, their vision, their possibilities, which they have made. So number 1 reason for that is lack of planning. Jumping into something without proper action plan won't work. You want to reach to this hill and you don't know how to reach at this hill. What's the way? You won't be able to do that. It will just be a dream of yours, not a goal, not an aim. It's just a dream. So to convert your dreams into realities, you must have a proper plan, proper action plan. Number 2 is distractions. We are living in the world of distractions. We are having TV, social media, friends, family, society, and news channels. Everywhere there are things which can create distractions for us. Now here comes our own responsibility, our own realization that whatever we want in our life, is it really important for us to have that or not? If that is not important, just live with your distractions. Nobody cares. Because it's your possibility, it's your vision, it's your life. So if you really want to achieve something in your life, remove the distractions from your life and focus on what you want to do. But first thing is realization that what you want to do. Do you want to get distracted only, or do you want to achieve something? Next is procrastination. And I think this is a very common thing nowadays. We know what we want. We have action plans. We are not having any distractions. Still, we feel like, oh, today I'm not in the mood of doing this. I'm not feeling good today. I'll do it tomorrow. Today is not the last date. So it's not important to do right now. It's not urgent. But all these things, all these stuff makes it harder to create those dreams into reality. The more you procrastinate, the more you will see that it is becoming harder and harder. Don't try to do 10 things in a day. Just do one smaller, tiniest thing in a day for your goal. Let's say you made an action plan like, I have to study for 10 hours a day. Nobody can do that. If you don't have a habit of studying from 10 years, for studying at least 10 hours a day, you won't study. Don't think about having exercise and workout for 1 hour a day. Just go for 5 minutes, but sustain that. Consistency matters here. Do that 5-minute thing for 1 month daily. 30 days, 5 minutes daily. Then again, increase the time. Let's say you just convert that to 5 minutes to 10 minutes. But maintain consistency. That is important. Rather than procrastination. Reduce the time of doing that particular thing. Now you have no procrastination in life. Still, what can stop you? Let's say you are doing all the things by yourself. Nobody is supporting you. And if you will do things by your own, at some point of life, you will feel like things are getting harder now. How will I reach to my goals? There must be at least one person in your life who can support you in your harder times. It can be your friend, your family, your mentor, your coach, anybody who can support you in the hardest situation. So most people fail because they don't have any support, lack of support. You can you have experience in your life. Whenever you get succeeded at anything, you felt like you must have support of your family, friends, someone at least. And when you don't have support, you was just going on. You might feel that, oh, I want to quit. But that other person adds that trust into your journey that you can go easily. And last is very important. Even doing all the stuff right, still we fail. That is not learning from failures. Let's say you tried one thing and you got failed. You again tried after that failure because keep going. You tried that, you again failed. Now, you need to check that if I fail here at this stage, what was the reason of my failure? Learn from this failure first and then proceed. Now, fail again. There is no problem in failing. Fail fast. The more times you will fail, the more are the chances that you will get succeeded. So fail again, but not because of this reason. Fail because of some other reason. Now again fail, but not because of past 2 reasons. Eventually, after failing so many times, you will become a person who can't fail because you have managed all the reasons of failure. There is no reason of failure now. You learned from all of your failures. And now you became that kind of person who learned from the failures, who know that. What if I fail at this stage? What was the reason? What is the reason? You collected the reason, learned from that, and now you got succeeded. So learn from your failures. Now I want to talk about our interesting thing or topic, the possibility of possibility. Now let's say you did everything, learned possibility, had a vision, failed enough and did everything. What's now? You achieved your one possibility. If I take the example of that student cracked the examination. Now what? The possibility you see is not a fixed destination. It's a journey. It's a continuous growth and discovery. When we achieve one possibility, it's like stepping out new path that leads to even more possibilities. Let's take an example of invention of the telephone. That very simplest device, the telephone, wired telephone. The invention of that just created almost thousands of possibility in the communication technology and transformed the world. It just started with that telephone, and now we are able to connect here on Zoom with the help of that. Now we are able to do voice calls, video calls, text messages. We can post on social media. These are all the limitless possibilities of just the invention of telephone. The possibility of possibility means there are n number of possibility if you just crack one possibility. Our search for possibility is kind of like that. When we break problems and do things that seemed hard, we find new chances. Every problem we solve, every risk we take, pushes us forward and shows us a world of possibilities that really big and always changing. And what's amazing is not just the end result, but the whole process. Embracing possibility helps us be tough, creative, and ready for change. It tells us that be curious, open to new ideas, and always wanting to learn. Possibility tells us dream big, challenge rules, and imagine a future that's not just like today. It's a world of chances that we can find, shape, and make real. Believe in it and take care of it, and let it show you a future that's not just about what's happened before, but about what could happen. As you step out of this room today, I encourage you to carry these takeaways with you. Believe in yourself, embrace change, challenge limits, learn from failure, stay curious, set goals, surround yourself with positivity, but think about possibilities. Enjoy the journey. That's the most important, because possibility is not a destination, it's a journey. As an American author said, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you will land among the stars. I want to end with this quote. Thank you so much for having me. If you have any kind of questions, you can ask me now, and you can connect with me over LinkedIn also.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Priyanka. So such a strong quote to end your topic. Really wonderful. And like my takeaway is that all of that, like all those things, is just will be stopped if you fear like failing. So once you learn how to not be afraid of failing, then the rest goes on. Like it becomes so smooth. So that's just my takeaway. And we'd like to hear from our attendees or from the other speaker, Dr. Rao. If you have any questions or opinions, insights for this topic, feel free to do so. From the attendees, you can raise your hand or unmute if you want to ask questions. All right. So no one so far who has unmuted, but if you have thought of any questions later on, you can put it on chat or you can connect to Miss Priyanka offline on LinkedIn. She's very responsive. And then Miss Priyanka, do you have anything that you are writing right now, or you have future sessions or coaching seminars online that you wanted to promote? You have a website?
Okay, so if you want to know more about impossible goals without burning out, if you want to achieve goals in your life, but you don't want to get stressed, so there is one upcoming webinar that is coming on 19th of August. So you can join that. You can connect with me over LinkedIn and check the link there. And also, if you want to connect with me over email, let me do that. I'll just post my email here in the chat. So you can connect with me also there.
Okay. So for it, thank you so much again, Priyanka. So for
Yeah,
those,
and one more, sorry to
yes,
interrupt.
go
One
ahead.
more thing I want to invite everybody. If you want to if you don't know that something in your life, like what to do, what to achieve. So I've just started a book reading club. I think you all have known or have listened the name of the book, Think and Grow Rich. So that is my mastermind book club that I started. You can join that group every Monday, 7 p.m. IST, and just be there, listen to that, and open to new opportunities. That's what I want to say. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that one, Ms. Priyanka. So yes, for our attendees right there, the email is on the chat, or for those who will be watching this one live, it's priyanka.possibility@gmail.com. So you wish to email here, please go ahead offline. So thank you so much again for that topic. We can move to the next topic today for this session. Thank you. And we have the next topic, which is also a very like timely. So resilience is an important behavioral competence in life, because we've gone through so much, like calamities and all. So resilience, I totally agree. It's really important behavioral competence in life. So it is the ability to cope and adapt to stress, adversity, and trauma. It is a key behavioral competence that can help people thrive in the face of challenges. Resilient people are able to bounce back from setbacks, maintain a positive attitude, and learn from their experiences. And to talk with this topic, we have Dr. A.M. Rao, who is a PhD in Human Resource Management, MA in Sociology, MA in IRPM, Industrial Relations and Personal Management, and has worked more than 40 years in the private sector, 17 years in the manufacturing industry, more than 23 years in the software industry, and worked in a senior leadership positions in human resource, corporate, and legal departments, and the list goes on. Such a great person that we're having here. We are very honored to have you, Dr. A.M. Rao, and to speak for this webinar, which is we aim to share free knowledge along with the experience of a seasoned professional. So we really appreciate you joining in. And without further ado, I'll give you the seat to talk about the topic.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, doctor.
To start with, let me thank you and your organization, Cogent IBS, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and the knowledge acquired on this. Resilience is a critical and very important competence. So let us try to understand what competence is. So in its simple form, competence is the ability, a skill. So if we want to further understand, whom do we call a competent person? A simple explanation is a competent person is one who has a technical functional skill and the desire to use that skill. So he'll have both. So he has skill and the attitude to use this skill. So that is about a competent person. So when it comes to resilience as a competence, so let us try to understand what is resilience. In simple terms, resilience is the ability to bounce back. The ability to bounce back from a disturbed or fallen condition for whatsoever reason. World over, the research was conducted on this particular competence for about 40 years, and the researchers, according to HBR article, is the summing up of this particular competence in 3 characteristics. That means a resilient person will have 3 characteristic features. So we'll have to understand a resilient person by these characteristic features. I'll list them out, and then we'll go on to the examples. There are many examples globally. So we'll discuss. But before that, let us try to know these 3 characteristics. The first characteristic of a resilient person is that he is aware of reality. So he is realistic in his approach. Like one of the rules of Jack Welch given, right? Accept the reality as it is, not as it was, not you wish as it were. That means the person will accept the reality as it is. That means no fooling himself or herself about the reality. So a resilient person will realize his situation without any illusions about it. There is no fooling of himself or herself about the reality as to what kind of condition or context the person is in. The second characteristic feature is the resilient people will have a strong purpose of life. That means they are very clear about the purpose of their lives. The third characteristic feature is the resilient person has an extraordinary and uncanny ability to improvise things. That means even the most insignificant thing, the person will be able to use it to his advantage or to her advantage. So these are the 3 main characteristics that were found after decades of research, and they summed it up for this particular competence, resilience, as the essence. So now let us move on to the kinds of examples we have. So how do we understand a resilient person? If we look to the examples, we'll know. Long time back in India, a few years back, in India, in Agra, Agra is the city where Taj Mahal is. So one driver was driving his truck. There was a truck going ahead of him, and the truck was carrying iron rods, metal rods. Suddenly, the truck braked, and the person following the truck rammed into the rods. So one of the rods went through his neck. His neck got separated, and he was profusely bleeding. And the lone helper he had by his side, seeing the blood, fainted. And there was no help. These drivers in India, normally they have a thin towel cloth around their neck. to mop up the sweat and all that. This driver, he saw his blood, he saw his helper fainting, and he was in a helpless condition. And this man, you know what he did? He just tied that cloth to his neck, and he held his neck tight with that cloth, and he drove to the nearest hospital, only to be told that he should go to another hospital, bigger hospital. Again, he drove to another hospital. He walked into the hospital, explained his condition to the doctors, and he fainted. Then he was operated upon and he survived. So now let us look at the situation. Let us try to analyze. One, when the driver was grievously hurt, he did not mistake or he did not worry about the helpless situation. He accepted the reality. The reality around him was grievously hurt. To the lone helper he had to help fainted, and he didn't have any help except his truck. So he had to hold his neck tight with the cloth, and he drove to the hospital because he realized his condition. And he realized that he should be treated medically. That's number one. Number two, the second characteristic, if we have to see the strong purpose of life, we will not know that unless we interview that guy, unless we try to find out from him personally. But the third one, the uncanny ability to improvise things. The only cloth that he had around the neck, the thin cloth, he used it as a binder to hold his neck tight. And he drove. That enabled him to drive to the hospitals. One example. The other example, an international hockey player, Indian hockey player, Sandeep Singh. Sandeep Singh is a prolific player, very good hockey player. He, along with his friend, he was traveling for practice in a train. Suddenly, some people opened fire at him. His body was pumped with bullets. He was badly injured. His friend and others immediately rushed him to the hospital. He was lying in the bed with blood all over. He was clean. He was operated upon. After the surgery, doctors told him that he was very lucky to have survived, and there were no other hopes for that guy except to be on bed forever. When he was getting better on bed, he asked the doctors whether he could play for the country again. So doctors didn't want to mislead him. So doctors wanted to be very assertive. So they gave him an assertive communication that he should accept his reality, and as he was paralyzed, he wouldn't be able to play again. So Sandeep Singh told everybody around that he wanted to play for India again. And he said in clear terms that it was his purpose, strong purpose of living. So he requested all the people to help him, to support him, to walk. Initially, he had a lot of difficulty in walking, but his purpose, strong purpose, kept him moving. So slowly, gradually, he was able to walk. Then he wanted to run. Then he wanted to build his body back to be fit enough to play for the country. Over a period of time, he achieved that. And he was back in the team and he played international matches. Very interesting. So these are some of the examples at the individual level. So now when we think resilience be applied to organizations. After all, organization means people. So collectively, people will also be driven by this particular competence. So organizations have been resilient. We have a number of examples for that. The best example I have known is Honda Motors. Twice their plant was reduced to debris because of bombings in the war. They built their organization again, bit by bit, back to glory. So that's the power of resilience. So if we see these examples, we will understand. We can apply to the recent COVID condition, and we can check the examples of the people who really face the pandemic as sufferers, as direct sufferers of the infection, and indirect sufferers of the shutdown of the total system and loss of employment. So many workers who are migrant workers in India, they wanted to return to their homes in other states. Pregnant women in the family, small kids in their hands, and they walked miles and miles with or without food, and they reached their destinations. So these are some of the examples of resilient qualities. There are many organizations who would have failed, or who would have lost, who would have been damaged by various other things. But still, they came back to life with rigor and vigor over a period of time. That's only because of their ability to bounce back. So the interesting quote here is, it's not important. It's not important that we don't fall. But when we fall, how do we get up? And why we get up, what do we pick up? So that's the essence of this particular competence. There are many areas where resilient people have exhibited their qualities. In wars, soldiers. In sports, sportsmen. In various other situations in the organizations, many people. So that's the whole gamut of this particular competence. It's very easy to tell that these are the three characteristics of a resilient person and all that. But the question is, how do we develop this? So good news is, it's not an inborn quality. Resilience can be built, can be developed by any individual. Only thing is we need to practice. It's not as though each person would be very strong and high on all the three characteristics. No. Some people will be on purpose. Some people will be on ability to improvise. And some people could be about their reality. But unless all these three characteristics are together, people cannot become totally resilient. So now, if we look at other examples of this uncanny ability to improvise. Nazi camps. In the Nazi camps, people used to get killed. Nobody knew when each person would be killed. So people were continuing in the camps The German winters are very harsh. So each inmate would be given only one pair of shoes for life. So they have to protect the shoe, to protect their toes from frostbite and only to survive. So they used to pick up a very insignificant thing like a steel wire and put it in their pockets. If the toe part of the shoe gets opened up, they would be susceptible to frostbite. So they would use these wires to sew the shoes and keep their feet intact. That's one example. Now let us take a great example of a resilient person, an Austrian psychiatrist, Viktor Frankl. He was one of the inmates of the Nazi camp, concentration camps. His family was killed. He lost his family. He didn't feel like living, but suddenly he started thinking, what should be the purpose of his life if he would survive? Suddenly it struck him that he wanted to inform the whole world as to how people should not be cruel. So that strong purpose made him to survive through the camp. When he survived, he wrote the famous book on purpose of man. So these are the basic qualities of resilient people. So we can go on checking whether we have those qualities or not, and how to develop these qualities. To do that, what we'll have to do is to be very clear about our purpose in life. That means we need to have good goal setting. Once we start working on our goals to achieve the goals, we'll have to work hard and we'll be facing many obstacles and difficulties and blockades. And without losing hope, without losing the sight of the goal, one should move forward. Just because a person encounters a problem, the person should not forget the goal and focus only on the obstacle, or the person should never take away or shift his eyes from the goal. Some people would like to change the goalpost. Some people would like to move away from the goal. That is not good. The person should be very conscious about the purpose and the goal. And if need be, the person should change the path, but not the goal. So in this process, in the goal achievement process, what happens is there is every likelihood of a person getting frustrated and resorting to frustration reactions or defense mechanisms. And that's not good. Though the defense mechanisms give some vent, they give some way to balance ourselves, but they'll not take us to the goal. So whenever a person tries to achieve a goal, and in the process, if the person meets with obstacles, the problems, the person should focus on the problem and solve it. So in solving the problem, the person should spend more time on the problem and the solution. He should live more in solution than in problem. So this happens only when the person thoroughly understands the problem. Once the person understands the problem, he should spend more time in solving the problem. So in this process, the person will become resilient. So these are the basic inputs of this particular critical component of resilience. And now it's open for any questions from audience and viewers.
Such a wonderful talk, Dr. Rao. Thank you so much for that one. Like it's emphasized because there are some who just like sulk into the problem itself, like they're having this problem and then continues to get stressed and depressed because they're just thinking about the problem and not really like doing the other way around, like understanding it, grasping the problem, so you can focus on solving it instead. So thank you so much for emphasizing that part there. That's a really wonderful discussion. From our attendees, anyone would like to share their insights or if they have questions? Priyanka, if you have questions, feel free to open your mic to Dr. Rao. No questions? All right, so that was fantastically delivered for both speakers. So for those who will would be able to watch this uploaded video of this session later, if you wish to ask questions, that just put it on the chat section, and then we'll deliver those questions to the speakers so they could acknowledge it and give their insights for it as well. And Dr. Rao, are you having seminar sessions online? Do you have a book you'd like to promote, or you have a website? Anything you'd like to promote?
I keep doing training programs and faculty development programs and learning programs. So, but right now, I have only my email for access and my phone number.
All right. Yeah, can we share your email on to everyone if they wish to collaborate with you or get in touch with you offline?
Sure. You want me to?
Yes, if you can type, or you can just, yeah, you can just see it on the video. It will be recorded anyhow.
It's Dr.Rao AM. Dr. Rao RAO AM @gmail.com.
All right. So that one, okay. And this will be recorded. And so for those who missed that information, you can just watch the recorded session. That's very open. All right. So wait, Madhu did it for us, and we'll send it to everyone. And yeah, that takes care of it. So I guess this is the end of the session for today. So such a really short time, but that's the idea of the Zipinar. So it's a webinar which we zip in two valuable information into one session, just to shorten the time consumption, but to broaden the information that will be delivered in this free knowledge sharing platform. So temporarily, we bid you goodbye for this session to end, but definitely we would like to invite you again in the upcoming session as well next Wednesday. So if you speakers are available, you can join in the Zoom. It will be the same link that's free to join if you wish to interact with two new speakers that we have. It would be a pleasure for us to have you again as an attendee to collaborate. If you have friends as well who will be interested, we'll be posting it on our social media platforms, which is on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube as well. And yeah, we would like to invite you all who are listening right now, and I hope to see you there. So for now, thank you so much, dear speakers and the attendees. And we actually are pleased to have our great speakers today for their valuable time, their efforts, their knowledge, and their experience that they have delivered in today's session. So we thank you so much. And for everyone as well, all the best and keep safe as always. And we would like to close the webinar session for now. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you so much.